The name Dean Hall definitely carries some infamy these days, and some of it is definitely deserved. However, his New Zealand studio Rocketwerkz is working on a brand new game. We don't know what it's called yet, but we do know that it is being funded by the Chinese online gaming behemoth Tencent. Now, this is not the survival space game that we saw announced at E3 2015, which of course is Ion. That's a separate thing, which is a collab with a tech company from London here in the UK called Improbable. So we don't know much about this game, but we do know a few details thanks to Dean himself, and he said, quote, "What I will say is it's multiplayer. We're really drawing a line in the sand here and saying, as we want to be planting our flag in the ground, carving out new territory in terms of new multiplayer genres or repurposing different parts of other genres. I believe it's a gap in the market. For that reason, I'm going to be pretty coy about exact specifics of it. Also, because of expectations and how experimental we are at the moment, I need to be deliberately coy. I want to avoid a War Z situation." And if you're wondering what he means by that, well, he simply means that he wishes to avoid copycats. You may remember that the War Z was pretty much a straight-up copycat of DayZ back in 2013. And he said, quote, "I think a lot of people when they hear about the new game will think it's a niche game, but a lot of people have said that about DayZ." Now, there is one thing I want to clarify. Now, I did say that this game was being funded by Tencent, but they are not the publisher of this new AAA game from Rocketwerkz. Instead, they are an investor in Rocketwerkz itself. So technically they are funding the game by funding Rocketwerkz, but they are not publishing the title. And apparently this partnership has enabled the studio to grow pretty massively from 5 people to 26 in the last year. And later on in the discussion, he discussed how with this new AAA game, Dean wants to up the ante a bit for Rocketwerkz, as they are kind of better known for, having lots of ideas and better known for, say, quick-fire ideas that perhaps don't pan out, but it seems they are thinking bigger this time around. And he said, quote, "I think there's a new form of AAA, and people like Gary Newman of Gary's Modern Rust have been carving out this territory that I'm a big newcomer to. That's what we're looking at doing. We're looking at trying to approach AAA without the big ball and chain of a publisher and maintaining a very expensive avenue as we go about exploring it." Thankfully, Dean also knows better than to attach a timeline to this particular new game again. That is a mistake and pitfall he has thankfully avoided this time around, but it will be probably quite a while before we hear anything about this at all. As I said, at the moment we don't even know what this game is called. But I have to say, I definitely like the idea of having the budget of a AAA game without that sort of weight of a publisher dragging you down, as of course, publishers are not exactly these evil monoliths that, are out to destroy games or anything, but sometimes, their investors and shareholders and everything like that can get in the way of creativity a little bit. So I'm interested to see what he has coming for us. DayZ is not a game I've played, it's not my wheelhouse at all in terms of games, but I'm curious to see what he's working on. Ion does look a bit more up my street, so I'm definitely interested to see what this game is. Of course, it's hard to be excited about something we don't even know what it is, but it could potentially be interesting. But of course, we're going to have to wait and see for some actual real details before we really get into that sort of territory. So, thank you very much for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.